Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and to our favourite video of the month, the completed pages tour. So this is everything I coloured in the month of December. I did end up doing a little bit in December. I'm pretty pleased with the amount completed. I wanted to go really hard on colouring this December. I missed out on Christmas colouring last year and I knew I wanted to do a lot of pages and really take advantage of the season, because this is the 1 month a year I feel like I can colour in Christmas. So we coloured in a lot. Not quite everything I had planned, but also like a lot. And a couple of other things popped up during the month that I also had to colour in. So yeah, some things according to the plan, some things not. But I'm pretty pleased with everything I created. So let's flip over to the top cam and get into it. Alright, so before we get into it, I have split the pages into Christmas and then non-Christmas related pages because I couldn't just colour Christmas. Yeah, I was like, I did a bunch of Christmas related pages, but I also wanted to colour in some other stuff too. So there's some extra pages in here that I managed to finish off. So we'll start with Theresa Goodridge. And we'll start with Home for the Holidays. And I have this spread in here, which I adore. This is a complete colour along on the channel. There is 5 parts to it. In I think in 3 of them, I do it real time and I explain techniques. And then in 2 of them, I just do it as time lapse, just to try and get through. But yeah, I love how this one turned out. I love the snow technique. Like, there's no white in the snow, but it still reads as snow. It's very fun, and it's lots of colour, and of course a little bit of sparkle, and really, really wonderful. And it's been done with coal and ore water-soluble pencils and then gouache paint. Actually, no, let's put you down there. And then we have Enchanted Christmas, also by Theresa Goodridge. And I have Summer Santa. I love how this page turned out. I knew I had to colour this one in as soon as I saw it because it's Summer Santa. Christmas is in summer here in New Zealand, so absolutely. And I really love the sunset on the water, the glitter, and the fact that Santa is in a glitter outfit. Because like, it's too hot for a wool suit here. There's no way you're wearing a woolen suit. And then the third Theresa Goodridge colouring book for the Christmas selection was Christmas Charm. And so we did a couple in here. We did the Tree Farm, which is where I figured out this pastel snow technique. And I love how this one turned out. So pretty. So pretty. And yeah, it inspired a whole new thing of me using gouache and getting into gouache and now really wanting to buy a bunch of gouache. Speaking of, we also have this one, and Eagle Eyes will note, because this video is coming out before it, but I have already filmed my complete collection tour, including the shelf that all my Theresa Goodridge books are stored in. And in that one, I realised I had forgotten to use Posca on the whiskers. So I did quickly fix that up in that video. But yeah. So this one's being filmed afterwards. It's just easier that way for me. I have to bulk film a bunch of stuff before I go away. So yeah, it's been a lot of recording right now. I've got so much editing to do. But yay, content. And yeah, so this one is coal and ore water-soluble pencils, Posca, and gouache, and I really love how the tree turned out. Right, I did a couple in Christmas colour by numbers. I bought this on clearance in 2022, and I thought it would be really fun to try colouring it. So I did this little stag first in alcohol markers, and then I did this full page, and genuinely I hate it. I hate the fact you can see the numbers. I hate how the alcohol markers just bleed on this paper. But yeah, the numbers, seeing the numbers through it just ruins the image so much for me. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try one more time, but with acrylic or gouache. Probably acrylic. See if I can get a range of matte acrylics. Colour in maybe a little bit more of a simpler image if I can find something that's a bit more simple, or something that interests me. Colour it in, but with paint, and use it like a paint by numbers, and see if that makes me like the image more when the numbers are covered up. And if I don't enjoy it and I don't enjoy the process, then I guess I better find someone to pass the book on to. Right, I actually did a PDF this month, and I did a Klara Markova. This is the first time I've ever coloured anything by Klara Markova. This is a freebie that is available from her website, and I was just so excited to be able to colour something. I would love one of her books, but I have not been able to justify the cost of getting one of her books yet. Maybe one day. But the point of this was I wanted to use as much glitter as possible. I was like, we're colouring rainbows and we're colouring glitter, and that's it. So yeah, there is, it was coloured with Poscas, alcohol markers, and then Poscas on top. And then I used DecoArt Enchanted Shimmer on like this meringue, and like the candy windows and the candy in here, little bits of here. And then I used Posca for highlights and the gold metallic Posca for in here. For the bottom of their outfit, I had some rainbow dot stickers, so I chose one of every colour to make a rainbow pom-pom bottom to match the rainbow belt and wings. And then for the background, I took Mod Podge. I added in some mica pearl powder, a bunch of really fine hollow clear glitter, some chunky glitter, mixed that all up, applied that everywhere, and then added a bunch of sequins as well to make it even more glittery. And then there's also some stickles, because all the red is stickles. So yeah, it's a lot of glitter. I'm aware I could have done more glitter, but I actually felt like at this point it was done. And I just love it. Like, it's ridiculous, I know, but I love it. Absolutely love it. And I have another copy, so if I want to try something a little bit more subtle, I can, if I want to. We have Winter Gnomes special. And I did say in my December colouring plans that I was specifically looking to tackle the Mariola Budek pages in here, and I certainly did. So, we'll start off with our classic Santa figure here. These are all done in alcohol markers, and then I use polychromos just to deepen the shading. And in this one I use stickles to make all the lights like sparkly. And I used distress inks in the background and like a little tree stencil I had to give the illusion of a tree. And then I didn't do the hearts one. I did do the gnomes with presents. This one was so fun. So again, it's just alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, and on here. But then for here, I did use alcohol markers to base each colour, but I pulled out different glitters for every colour I had put on the present, because I have that many stickles that I could pull out a different stickles for every colour, and I still had more stickles I could have pulled from. I love the glitter stack of presents. Like, it's just ridiculously shiny. It's so fun. It's so fun. So then we have this one here. So again, alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, Posca, a little bit of distress ink for the glow of the lantern, and then for the white on the hat I used a puff pearl paint, and I was trying to get it flatter if I could. It turned out alright. It's still got a bit of texture to it, which I don't mind here because it adds to the texture of the pom-pom, but here I wish it was flatter. Ended up using a brush to apply it. I have a lot of problems with these pearl paints, so didn't quite work to plan. And then we have the Reef Gnome one here. So again, alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, Posca. And this one I originally did colour over the letters, but it bled everywhere and I just really couldn't be bothered with a clean up. So I just grabbed Distress ink in a similar colour and just laid it everywhere. I was thinking originally maybe I'd go over the letters with gold, but I just never got back to it. I don't mind it though. And then we have the Reindeer Gnome. So again, alcohol markers, polychromos pencils, a Posca marker, stickles, and this one I also used metallic alcohol markers to colour in the elements on the presents. And that's as many that I got done in Winter Gnomes. There's still a few more in there, but I was pretty pleased with getting as many done as I did. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, and then the In Love one, 4. So there's still 4 more. So I got 6 out of 10 done, which I think is pretty reasonable. They were really fun and really quick too. So I have one in Seasons, which I haven't actually worked in before. So that was really cool. And that was because one of my wonderful patrons saw this one in my December flip through of like potential pages to colour and specifically requested it. I was like, heck yeah, I will. So yeah, this was really fun to put up as a little colour along. This one uses Distress inks in the background, alcohol markers as a base, polychromos pencils, Posca, a little bit of stickles, and then Kaisercraft shimmer spray all around as well. And it had a lot of fun like playing with light sources and explaining like a light source from the bottom from the candle and then having an additional light source on top and how that would work. So yeah, I really like how that turned out. It was very, very simple but really neat and nice to work in Seasons as well because it's not one I would normally gravitate towards. And then the final colouring page that is Christmas aligned, or rather more winter aligned in this case, is this gorgeous fairy. This is from the Stokes colouring book, and this is a new book for me to work in, so that's always lovely working in a new book. And so I imagined her to be like the fairy on top of a Christmas tree, and I wanted like a blue silver theme because I knew I'd be doing a little bit of like red and green themed, so that was really fun to do a different colour way. And I love how she turned out. Like, she's so gorgeous. So for this one I used Distress inks for the background, and a silver Posca pen and sequins that I stuck on, and lots of them around her headdress. And then for her, she uses Prismacolor pencils with Deco Art Enchanted Shimmer on top of her wings and her dress. So she's got a blue reflect on her wings and silver on her dress. And then a little bit of stickles on some of the gems of her dress as well. So yeah, I really adore her. And I had so much fun working in this book too. So definitely should do some more in here at some point. So that's all the Christmas themed pages, and then I have some additional pages that I did that were not necessarily Christmas themed. So the first two are actually my own artwork, which is really cool. So I did this one here. I can't really tell you much about it right now. Yeah, it's for a project. It's intense. It's a trip. And it's really cool to be involved in it. So, but yeah, just know I completed it. This one I could tell you a little bit more about. This one's very big, but also really, really cool. So this one was for the wonderful Violacious, who is here both on YouTube and Twitch. And she had a special Twitch redeem where you could spend your channel points and have a digital Christmas card created for you. And so what happened was your Twitch icon would be put into the card and it would say like Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays and have your username on it, which I thought was really cool. And she reached out to me to see if I would be one of the artists for this. I I have a redeem on my Twitch channel because you earn channel points watching. And so watch for long enough and you will earn enough points to redeem something called You Drawn, which is when I will actually draw a drawing for you. We have one of them up on the channel here that I have done for the wonderful Chai. And so she messaged and asked if it would be okay to claim her one for this. I was like, absolutely, because Bai is very helpful for me in terms of setting up my stream and stuff. So I did go a little over what I would normally do for one, but I also really love it. Turned out so cute. So yeah, we've got alcohol markers as a base. Did I use alcohol markers? In some areas. The white is alcohol markers. I think I actually used the Colin or water-soluble pencils, now that I think about it, for the dress, and ink tints. And then it's polychromos pencils for the face. These gouache for the flower pattern. And then this is actually, the pattern on her dress is a sticker tape that I got, and I cut out like all the different types of flowers, and then I would stick them down and I'd use like a knife to cut around any folds and very carefully lay them down. It took a long time, but it looks gorgeous. And if you look at certain angles, like, yeah, you can see they're plastic stickers, but if you look at the other angle, you can't see the plastic at all, and it just looks like patterned fabric. And I'm like, I need to do this technique again. We also used washi tape for the frame, and then the background is all watercolor, which I wanted to keep quite simple because I knew there'd be a bit of text going over here. So yeah, that was really fun. It was a tight squeeze to get it in because it was a last minute change to the plan, but we got it done, we got it in, and I really loved how it turned out. It was such a fun opportunity. Right, so carrying on with the Theresa Goodridge, I also have one in Village Charm. So this one actually started in November, but hadn't quite completed it, so I made a point to try and finish it off. I really love how this one turned out. This is so pretty, and I don't normally do vintage limited palettes, but I love how this one turned out, especially considering that I only used a few pencils. It's essentially 6 plus a white and a black, so yeah, and then a touch of gold as well. I mean, it's not too limited. It's not like it's free pencils or anything, but that's still pretty freaking limited for me because I use a lot of pencil colors. So yes, you can see the list of colors here. This is done in polychromos colors. So if you have the polys, you can pull this palette out to use yourself. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it worked so well for this page. And I love how it turned out in the end. Right, so I completed a really old work in progress in Ivy and the Yky Butterfly. I knocked out an old whip. That was really nice to do. And that was this double page spread. So I had painted the background ages ago, and I had coloured most of the flowers. In fact, I coloured all the flowers, but I hadn't finished doing all the greenery around. So I finished off all the greenery, and then I added some stickles and some Posca, and I did the butterfly. But then I came over here because I wanted to do the door frame and make the door frame appear magical. And so I grabbed out Distress inks and created like this galaxy look by potting down blue and purple and then spritzing. And then I used a beautiful green stickles around the door itself, so it feels even more like a magic portal and that you're stepping through to somewhere new. So that was really fun, and it finished off a really old work in progress. Smashing them out. So we have this way. This is a new purchase in the month of December. Any Day. This is by Morgan O'Brien, who you may know of Matchstick Mouse, very popular for a lot of colorists here on YouTube. I did not have any of them until someone linked me to his Ko-fi store to get the free Animal Crossing colouring books, and then I saw that he had Any Day and Matchstick Mouse Winter available for purchase. And I was like, add to cart, add to cart. So I got both of them, printed them out. And when you squint at this, it almost looks like A-M-I-E, aka the spelling of my name, Amy. So when I was on a stream, I was getting really frustrated with the page I was working on. And everyone's like, switch pages. You're obviously frustrated. Switch pages. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to pull something out. So I pulled this out and I was like, this is a new purchase. And I kind of want to work at it. Because, look, it's even got my name on it. Like, it's calling me. And everyone was like, you have to colour the bunny blue. You have to make this you living as a bunny. I was like, okay, we're going to do it. So the idea is we're going to colour every page to look like a version of me as a bunny, I guess. I don't know. She's got bright blue fur, so I do dig it. So, yeah, during this stream, we switched over, and in about 6 hours, I had completed 4 pages in here. And I love how they're turning out. And I'm using the Super Tips by Crayola method, where I colour on the chopping board, then pick it up with a brush and use it like watercolour on the page. So you can see the blue bunny here, which is what colour my hair is usually when it's very much dyed. My hair is well and truly overdue for a re-dye. So yes, we have the beautiful coloured in page. And then for this one, I also use Posca for like highlights and details. And then this one, I also grabbed, I had a couple of the leftover stickers cut out from Violacious's page. So I grabbed those and I was like playing around with sticking them down as flowers. And I really liked the look of them. So I stuck down a bunch over here and I just trimmed the bottom a little bit. And then over here, I just trimmed the bottom of the bush to match the bottom of the window. And yeah, I really, really like that. And we decided that the hedgehog is Wardart, my little pencil emoji that features on stream. How a pencil becomes a hedgehog in another life, I don't know, but his name's Wardart. So this one is the soup one, or the stew one. We decided that this is gochujang stew, which is one of my favorite things to eat. I love it so much. I love a hot, spicy soup or stew. So delicious. And yeah, again, it's just the Crayola Super Tips, a little bit of Posca. Really love how this came together. I really like the like pastel yellows and greens of the background versus her blues and purples. It's a good contrast. And then we have this one here where she is walking in the park, and we decided this was Pukekura Park, which is a local park in Taranaki where I live. It is stunning. It is absolutely stunning, and you can walk down pathways and just be completely surrounded by bush and trees, and in autumn when all the leaves are changing, just so gorgeous. So that's what I took inspiration from. So that's why this area here is mottled with all the different leaf colours, because I wanted her walking in a foresty park. And then for her dress itself, we actually used washi tape. And I think originally it was meant to be like a dress, not a two-piece. But I ended up converting this into a little bit of a belly because I thought that would be kind of cute. Would I wear something like this personally? No, but Fantasy Bunny Amy version can. Super, super cute. And then we have one more in here. I really got into it. This one. The colouring one. I love the fact that she's colouring Matchstick Mouse. So again, we've got a little bit of washi tape on the edges here of her top and bandana. And then for the rest of it is the Crayola Super Tips. And then what I did was I figured out what colours I wanted to colour certain areas of this page. And then I found a similar colour in the Crayola Super Tips, coloured the pencil in that colour, and then found a matching polychromos, and that's what I used to colour in here. So it's got like pencil detail like it has been coloured with pencils, but the rest of it's all the markers, which, I don't know, something about that just really amuses me. I love the contrast and texture, and I love the fact it looks like she has actually coloured it. Right, another old work in progress completed. So when it wasn't working on Christmas, I was kind of working on old whips, apart from Any Day. That was a sidetrack, but I appreciate doing it. Yeah, so I completed a really old whip in Creatures of the Night, and oh, I'm so glad I did. So this one has been based with alcohol markers for so long, and originally I was going to do a mermaid type colouring, and I was going to make her skin green, but I accidentally grabbed coral because I was like, coral, that's under the ocean, that's mermaid, and it wasn't what I was imagining. So it sat uncoloured for a while, and then it's like, you know what, we're just going to rock with it. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I really like how it ended up turning out. So I used my polys to shade everything, added some Posca highlights, and then some gold Kaisercraft shimmer spray, and I also grabbed my distress inks and a little circle template that I had because the skin had a bunch of scales pre-drawn on here, so I added in extra scales, or like highlighted the scales with the use of the stencil, and then added the stencil to the background as well for some texture. So yeah, that one is finally done. There's only one more pre-coloured one in here, and then I don't have to stick to the pre-coloured ones anymore if I want to work in here. Right, we have one in Alien Worlds I finally completed. It's a whip from this year, but it was still really nice to get it done. And that is this tentacle monster from the deep. Oh, we're going to get a lot of shine reflect here. I wonder if I can move you back a bit. Maybe over there. That's not too bad. Alright, so yes, this is done in Inktense pencils, and there is some Liquitex acrylic ink on top as well, because I wanted to tint it just a little bit more green, so it would be more a tealy green colour for the water. And then I used polys to shade, and there's one Prisma for the eyes, just to make the eyes more vibrant yellow, and a little touch of Posca on the eyes for the shinies, which I did in yellow as well, because I didn't want to bring white in. It felt like that would be too harsh. And yeah, I really like how it turned out. I really like the actual tentacles, because when I was colouring it, in the back of the book, it describes these creatures as each of their tentacles is sentient. It's like, that's really cool. So in my mind, these are like individual little twists, and you start off as like a couple of strands, and you find someone else that's a couple of strands, you're like, hey, let's buddy up. And so you twist your strands together, and you come together, and then you become a new creature. And then like you find more friends, and you join together, and you've got, you know, all these like twisted strands together. And then you meet another friend that's also all bunches of twisted strands. And you're like, let's buddy up, let's buddy up. And so all those like twisted strands then twist into one and become one new tentacle on this new formed creature as they all meld together again. I don't know if that's what Kirby intended, but that's what I've taken from this page. And now that's my understanding of how this creature is created. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like when a page also inspires a story. I think it's fun. And then the final page completed this month is in Mytho Morphia, and you may have seen this on my social media because I was so pleased. How long has it been since we've done a page in Mytho Morphia? Like, so long. I did so many at the start of the year, and then all the plans changed. But yes, we completed this one, and I love how this one turned out, especially considering how destroyed it got after the pages stuck together, and it was so bad. So yeah, I ended up using a bunch of my art journaling and decoupage type stuff. So like this tissue in the background, and all these little die cuts, and I've got like some vellum, like gold details in here as well. Yeah, all that was sort of stacked together and pulled from a bunch of my scrapbooking stuff, but it just turned out so pretty, and I do love it. So I had it folded for a couple of things like in my pile, but this is actually staying out and drying. Fun fact, so I applied some Mod Podge glitter to this page and Mod Podge on top to like adhere and also seal down all the bits I added, right? It actually says on the back of Mod Podge that the curing time is 4 weeks. It's dry in 20 to 30 minutes, but it needs 4 weeks to fully cure, which it is ever so slightly tacky, so I think it's still curing, but it's definitely less tacky than it has been. It's been about 5 days or so far. I'm about to go on a trip for about a month, so I'm just going to leave this open on my floor and then come back and hope that it's cured and won't stick together. But I'll still have this in there just in case, because we don't want a repeat of why we had to fix this up in the first place. But yes. So that was everything I coloured in the month of December. So as we wrap out the year, I thought it would be interesting to share a couple of things about my colouring collection. So because of the fact that I had to take a mental health break in August and did not track anything, I don't have a yearly total of everything I've coloured. I don't have yearly totals of like, you know, how many pages I completed or PDFs or anything like that, because I can't remember what I coloured in August. I didn't track everything in July, and I think I missed some stuff in September as well, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, I needed that break. But I can talk about a couple of things. So first off, Mytho Morphia. I said at the start of the year that I wanted to focus on completing this book, and then about halfway through the year, when all the burnout happened, I realized that it's not great to push myself to complete this book, and I just needed to focus on the pages that I wanted to colour and what I enjoyed colouring. So, sorry, I'm just opening something, and of course it wants to play an ad. So while on the second half, I didn't push myself, I did complete a couple more pages in Mytho Morphia, which was cool. But the neat thing is where we are ending the year, because we started the year with 17% of this book being complete. Why I thought I could take a book that was less than a fifth complete and finish it in a year that is as detailed as Kirby, I don't know. But in the year, we have managed to complete the book to 60%, which I think is a really good effort. Like, that is 43% completion. And then I have another 2 pages that are in progress, like another 2-page double spreads. And there's not that much left to go. Like, there's a little cluster in here, but 51 out of 85 pages are done. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of pages that are done. So it's really, really quite cool to have achieved that. Even if I didn't complete the book, I feel like that's a lot of progress to be proud of. So the other thing as well is very, very messy writing. In the start of the year, I did make a note of my work in progress pages to complete. At the time, I had 58 individual pages to complete, which is a ridiculous number. Like, that was ridiculous. So this year, my second goal was to get that page down. that page total down, and every month we got it down just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And so at the end of the year, we are finishing with 19 work in progress pages, with 9 of those being pages that I had at the start of 2023. So when I did my complete collection tour in 2023 and noted work in progress pages, that included the 58 work in progress pages. I now have 9 of those remaining, and that is 19 in total. So there is 10 new ones from 2023 and then 9 from 2022 and earlier, and I am so pleased with that. And I think next year I can definitely focus on getting this down to single figures, which is my goal. I don't mind if I have 9 or less. I think 9 or less is really good for me. I'm probably always going to have at least 5 on the go. So I had 9 or less single figures. Feels appropriate. And you can see my other big thing here of how many books in my collection are worked versus unworked. Which is something I'm going to be working a bit more on 2024, because almost 65% of my collection is unworked. So yeah, that is everything I did in December and a little bit of a wrap up for the end of the year. I was hoping to sit here and actually be able to show like everything I coloured and talk about things that I did throughout the year, but as I said, we lost a couple of months there with hospitalizations, burnout, and just needing to have a mental health break. It happens. There's no promises it's not going to happen again next year. But anyway, I hope you all have had a wonderful new year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got lots of colouring done. I know a lot of people have had a break over this time, and I hope you've had the most wonderful, relaxing time and just being able to unwind, find that peace, and hopefully find a little bit of time for colouring. And let's get into 2024 and all the new colouring. I'm so excited. I have so many things I want to do this year, and let's hope we get there. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.